Alrighty, guys, what's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, and my fighters? I'm One Eye Bry, also known as PT, but I'm definitely thinking about the Walking Dead Season 11, Episode 9 and 10 review, recap, breakdown. We're going to talk about a bunch of things, obviously spoiler warning. So if you haven't seen Episode 1109, that was on AMC Plus last week, it comes out this Sunday, tonight. AMC, Walking Dead, Season 11, Episode 9. I know a lot of people are watching it on AMC, which is fine, which is good, which is, part of it. Not everyone wants to afford AMC Plus. They don't want to watch it early. Well, I'm sure people would want to watch it early if they don't want to pay for AMC Plus, basically, is what it comes down to. So, Talking Dead is back tonight. I believe it's Angela Kang, Maggie, and Leah are the people on tonight with Chris Hardwick on AMC. At a B, pretty good. How are you? I'm doing okay, hanging in there, trying to get stuff situated for this upcoming week. It's going to be a little crazy week coming up, but, kind of they're all crazy for what they are. But ultimately, guys, thank you guys for joining me. I'll be back next Sunday talking about The Walking Dead. So we're going to talk about The Walking Dead Season 11, Episode 9 and 10, because I've watched both episodes. We'll just give some general stuff for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe. I'll give the spoiler warning when we're going to talk about spoilers. But, I don't want to, some people like to come here, talk a little bit, and then avoid spoilers. But even though it's a spoiler warning in the title, you know how we do it. But ultimately, guys, The Walking Dead is back. And as I watched, or as I was getting ready to come on, I got a message from somebody, Joey Scutch on Instagram. So I just heard Andrew Lincoln was spotted with Norman Reedus in Georgia, and they're about to start filming the final episode. I'm only seeing some posts, no articles yet. So I've said this before many months ago, that I think they'll start filming the Walking Dead Rick movies when the Walking Dead main show is done. It's probably too much to ask for them to film movies, the main show, wrapping that up. Tales of the Walking Dead is going strong. I believe they're on episode 103, so season 1, episode 3. And, hey, Christopher Leone. Gary, hey, from England. Very cool. So that is what the early word is now. They didn't have pictures, didn't have anything about it. But if Andrew Lincoln is in Georgia, that does leave the possibility for them to put him in the final episode. There's still talks about, a lot of people want to see that. I think it would be really good for the series. I don't know how it would be good for the story, for the movies, what they're going to do. What they're going to do with that for the sake of that. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. Because let's just worry about these episodes right now. Rick has gone away. There's going to be a lot of speculation. There already is. There always will be. It's just crazy, right? So they're going to be... No, Tales of the Walking Dead is filming their first season. It's not on... I don't know, Adabie, if you got it confused or what I said, if I said it wrong, but it's filming right now. It's not on AMC Plus. That's a summer show. They're on the third episode of filming so far. So Trophy Production says, yes, he is in Georgia with Norman Reedus. There was a picture posted on an Andrew Lincoln fan page. So great. If he's there, if it's old, if it's new, speculation is going to run wild, especially because they're wrapping up the series. They're going to start filming the final episodes. So they're like, Rick's going to be in it. Rick's going to be in it. And if it's not, it's a kick in the nuts for everybody, right? Because you're like, Rick was supposed to come back. Yeah, don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up. Like, seriously, don't get your hopes up, because if you're expecting it to happen and it doesn't, it's going to be a major letdown. If it's one of those things where if you think it could happen and it does, great. If it doesn't, great too. But I personally hope he comes around for the final episode. So I don't know if the real deal is for it. So, John, I didn't watch Elimination Chamber. I probably won't watch wrestling if until WrestleMania. So, yeah, I don't know. And, of course, Brock Lesnar is going to wrestle this guy, and it's going to be Roman Reigns to wrestle Brock Lesnar. Obviously, it's going to be all this because they're like the main guys, right? You don't bring Brock Lesnar back to put him on the shelf somewhere and barely have him wrestle. Roman Reigns is their guy right now, so they're the two big dogs. They're going to wrestle. Oldberg, whatever. Bringing back Stone Cold potentially. Great. Don't care about Ronda Rousey one iota. Makes no difference to me. Never been a fan of hers. So, but The Walking Dead is important for all of us. Season 11 has been pretty good so far. Episode 1109 is really good. 1110 is a step in the storytelling part of the season. Because it has to be that way. 1109 wraps up stuff. 1110 sets up where it's going. Even though they kind of do that with the first episode, the 8th episode, the 9th episode, the 16th episode, 17th episode, 24th episode, they kind of have bookends. 1 goes to 8, 9 to 16, 17 to 24. They kind of fit stuff in there. Even though 1109 feels like it's wrapping up some pretty big stories, parts, series, characters, stuff happens there. They answer some questions. 1110, really takes us down a different path. And we'll talk about that, after a little bit here. So, other than that, not much is going on with other Walking Dead news. I have posted some things on Facebook about potential filming locations in Griffin, Georgia, in the state of Georgia, were a couple locations where they were filming. Don't know if it was Tales of the Walking Dead or the final. I think they're wrapping up episode 23, and they'll start filming 24 maybe next week. Goes into March, and then it's over. And then the main series is done filming. Then they'll probably go out into the movies. Tales of the Walking Dead will still be filming. We still don't know about Fear the Walking Dead Season 8 filming, if it's going to be in Savannah, if it's going to be there yet, but let that speculation begin too. So, Christopher Leone asks, Alpha coming back? That's been the word. I posted a video Friday, I believe, that it's something that is not been confirmed by Gimple, by anyone from AMC, but the word is that Samantha Morton is reprising her role as Alpha to see if it's going to make sense. It's going to probably be some point that we haven't seen yet because we know what happens to her in season 10. We know where she was with Beta and Lydia and a couple of things there, but there is still some story left that could tell with the Whisperers, how they started. Was there a Beta before Beta? Was it Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Leda, Zeta, whoever it was? Were there other people there too? I don't know, but they are getting more and more cast. There's one of the guys from the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. There's Olivia Munn. There's one of the guys from The Boys. There's some big people in these episodes. So they're getting some good actors for these episodes, and they can put probably more money in an episode because there's only 6 episodes. And if they're trying to get more stuff for you to buy AMC Plus, like Mike asks, Q&A, will Tales only be on AMC Plus? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be like an Origins episode, like the 4 episodes of Walking Dead Origins. They were on AMC Plus, and then they eventually came on AMC. I would see and I would think that it's going to be on AMC Plus, and then come to AMC. You have to basically have stuff for streaming services now. You have to have stuff for just Paramount Plus, just AMC Plus, Hulu, Amazon, Netflix, stuff that drives people to get those services. And I would assume Tales of the Walking Dead is going to be AMC Plus. No word yet, but I think it's going to go there. Keel LFC06, episode 10 is out on AMC Plus. L1109 airs today on AMC, so again, they're a week behind. So it's pretty cool if you have access to watch it early. If you don't, it's probably got to suck. I don't know, right? So it's got to be one of those things. So I don't know what Mark Carroll is asking. Can someone please answer my question? When does the last season premiere? What are you asking, Mark? It's already premiered. The premiere episode was, it's already started season 11. The last season of The Walking Dead is already premiered. I mean, I don't know. So I don't know. But either way, guys, The Walking Dead is back today for AMC. viewers, AMC Plus. It's already a couple weeks early. And it's pretty good stuff. I mean, if you have access to watch it, I enjoy watching it early. I enjoy knowing stuff early about the spoilers. If you follow my stuff here, reliable sources, stuff to watch, it makes sense. Now, I don't know if it's a big deal now because, so let's say Andrew Lincoln is in the final episode. And there's been some talk and comments that they're not going to show the final episode early. Then what's the point to have AMC Plus? Well, I guess to watch the episodes early, and if they're going to put that on the same time, I don't know. That's a lot of, again, speculation, rumors, BS that people are saying. I know a person that works for AMC, and they said it's not going to be this. Well, they can make it, just like we thought 1101 and 1102 was going to be a 2-episode premiere, when it was 2 different things, too. So, Keon Johnson, I do not know what your comment is, and I'll scroll up a little bit here. Let me see. Hey, PT, did you see how Lance looked at Pamela? I will talk about that when we talk about stuff. Keon, in 4 minutes, we will talk about 1109 and 1110, so give it some time, but I will talk about Lance and Pamela Milton and the Commonwealth and all that stuff for sure. So hit that subscribe button, like, share, subscribe, let me know your thoughts, post your comments below. Super chats are always welcome. But if you like the channel and you're here, you're probably a subscriber already, so... But either way, we're still having our goal of 100,000 subscribers, and we're still not there yet. Hopefully, we can hit that goal. We need, 3,700 or something, 3,700 subscribers to hit that goal. Hopefully, we hit the goal before I was worried about it, but I'm not. I got other stuff going on. I'm not worried about YouTube numbers because, it's something that you can't control. And that's one thing I've learned, too, is you don't want to worry too much about things you can't control. You just want to worry about how you feel about things, how you control your aspects, how you control with things too. So, side note here before we get into the Walking Dead comment, talking about it, we are all dead on Netflix. The Korean zombie series is pretty good. I like it. I wouldn't say I love it. I don't think it's that great of a show. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's worth watching. Now, if you can get past the dubbing, the English translation of them, because they're speaking Korean, I believe, and then they're trying to dub it over to English. It's just like Squid Game. So if you can get past that, you'll probably like that. If you like the zombie stuff, you'll like that. There's some twists and turns. My wife and I have only watched 7 episodes, I believe. I think we're about to start episode 8. That will get there because it's 12 episodes, I want to say, for the series. It's pretty good. It's getting to see where these characters are developing and stuff. It's worth watching. To me, I like it better than Black Summer. It's just done better. It's shot better. It's not rushed. It's okay to watch. They do a lot of things that are crazy in it. Some things are cheesy. Some things don't make that much sense, but it is a nice twist and turns about the zombie apocalypse virus. It's definitely worth watching on Netflix. So recommend that. And that's really what we're watching. We watch the series Swap Shop on there too on Netflix. It's like a Pickers, American Pickers, kind of like, I don't know. It's cool to watch something 20 minutes long. And then I'm also watching Shack Life on HBO Max. It's like Shaquille O'Neal's life and what he does. And again, they're like 20-minute long episodes, so it's good. Something just to fill the half-hour gap if you want to watch something real quick. Just throw that on. And then, of course, Walking Dead. So, again, guys, book update. Fight for Us is on the back burner until I finish In 100 Days Part 3. In 100 Days Part 3, I'm on Chapter 13, I believe. I got like 6 pages left of that chapter to edit. My wife is on chapter, I think, 7 or 8. And it's 18 chapters. It's coming along very nicely. And I'm glad I'm doing this thorough editing because I'm excited to share it with you guys, but it's worth editing. It's worth showing there too. So, yeah. I don't know. Masked Ninja says, there is a teaser of Rick Grimes' return. I bet there is. I bet there's a lot of fan-made stuff that's out there. I really doubt that AMC and The Walking Dead would have a Rick Grimes teaser that's legit and real. They would not want to spoil that. You would not want to do that. Maybe they do. Maybe they do want to do that to get people back into watching. I don't know too. So, and Mark, I saw you ask a couple questions here. He says, "Are we headed for another summer of speculation?" For sure, we're definitely headed towards a major thing of speculation because I don't doubt that Andrew Lincoln's in Georgia. I just don't. It just makes sense that he is. I've said it months ago that I think they're going to start filming the Walking Dead movies after the main show ends, and Andrew Lincoln would have to be there now, and that's probably going to be when I start filming in March. Is it a good option for him to be in the final episode? For sure. We miss Rick Grimes. We miss that for sure. So, all right, guys. Spoiler warning. We're going to talk about episodes 9 and 10. I'll quickly go through episode 9 because I went through it last live stream. I've had my review already up of that episode. 1109 is action-packed. 1110, not so much. 1109 is like, let's wrap up the Reapers. We know that the Reapers are all gone. It's definitely that the Reapers were fill in the blank, fill in the gaps, filler, and now we have to get rid of them. Everybody survives on our group except for Alden, and everyone dies in the Reapers except for Leah. Father Gabriel's great in the episode. Maggie's great in the episode. Negan's great in the episode. Daryl's good in the episode. Connie and Daryl reunited at Alexandria. There's a lot of good things. Alexandria, at the end of it, Eugene and the Commonwealth and Lance come to the Commonwealth. They don't really do anything. Besides show up on horseback and horse and buggy, come in, Eugene addresses everybody, Lance addresses everybody. Then at the end, 6 months later, Maggie, Elijah, I'm guessing Lydia, Diane, we don't see them, but I'm guessing they're there at Hilltop. Daryl is a Commonwealth trooper. I find it interesting that they keep referring to them as troopers, like storm troopers, Commonwealth troopers. So Maggie says it doesn't have to be this way. Daryl takes off his Commonwealth mask and says, yeah, it does. And that's how the episode ends. But it's 6 months later. In 1110, it's 30 days into the Commonwealth that our group has been there for a month. Then midway, towards the end of the episode, it says day 33 in the Commonwealth. So 6 months is 180 days, roughly. If we give or take 30 days in a month, times 6 is 180 days. So we don't know what happened since Lance and Eugene came to the Alexandria. Maggie's at the Commonwealth. We don't know what happened over that 6 months to have the rift between Maggie and Daryl and cause the problems there, because Maggie's not in this episode. We don't see Maggie. We don't see Gracie. We don't see Herschel. We don't see Aaron. Father Gabriel's in it briefly. It really focuses a lot on Carol, Daryl, Rosita. They're really the main ones they focus on heavily. There's also Connie, Kelly, Princess. Don't really see Eugene at all. Mercer, Sebastian, the Miltons, Lance, Ezekiel, Jerry, Nabila, RJ, Judith. They're really the main ones that we watch too. So, yeah. See, there you go. Dawn says it. Just got word that Andrew Lincoln is in Atlanta. That's what everybody's going to say. Like I said that at the beginning of the live stream too, and it's like, you just can't wait. Like you're going to see it on all these videos. You're going to see it all over social media. You're going to see it everywhere that Andrew Lincoln is there. So if Andrew Lincoln is actually going to film the last episode, great. If he's not, again, do not think that it's going to be. Just don't. Make sure, just be careful what your expectations are, for sure, too. So, yeah, Hard Nexie, sorry, spoiler warning for sure. We're talking about both episodes 9 and 10, so I cut the regular chat early. So we'll probably start doing that more and more, where we'll talk about like 15 minutes of the hour to talk about general Walking Dead stuff, and then 45 minutes of the episodes, too. So 1109, action-packed. 11:10, story-driven. It's just all at the Commonwealth. It's a Commonwealth episode, which is good. It's fine. It's a good episode, and it's good to see Jerry, Rosita has more story. Daryl, of course, has a bunch of story. Carol's being Carol. Like, to me, the Commonwealth is a bigger, better Alexandria. It's the same thing, too. So, Keon keeps asking me about Lance. So let's talk about Lance. So Lance, Keon asks, do you think Lance is evil? No, I don't think Lance is evil. I think Lance wants to be acknowledged, appreciated. He wants the people of the Commonwealth to know that he is responsible for things. It's basically anybody at their job wants to be recognized. Like, go into your job and do your job and have your boss and your coworkers take you for granted. It sucks. We've probably all been there, right? So I know that Lance Hornsby is, I don't even know his title, whatever he is, right? I mean, he probably said it, but it doesn't really matter. It's Pamela Milton, and then probably Lance under Pamela Milton, obviously. But I don't even know if it's like Pamela Milton, her assistant, who I can't recall what they call her, but it's not Stephanie. They don't call her Stephanie. And then Lance, or Lance is up there. Lance is either second or third in command. And I don't think Lance is like, we got to take over things here. I think he just wants recognition. I do think Lance wants power, but I think Lance wants more recognition than anything. And Lance is kind of building his story with, Lance has had his story with Eugene. It didn't really work out well. Now he's got story with Carol. Carol's being Carol. And Muscle McBride does a great job, is a great thing. I love the idea that she's basically being the same person she was at Alexandria, but she's taking over the bake shop. So you get to see people have their jobs. So I don't know what Jerry's doing. Jerry's just with his wife and kids. Ezekiel is running the pet shop, the petting zoo, I should say, the petting zoo, because it's Halloween. Sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit. I'm trying to read the questions and go from here too. So the episode starts 11:10, that is, with Daryl, RJ, and Judith in this weird room. Yeah, see, it's Max or something, right, Joanne? They call like the real Stephanie Max or it was like they say it so fast, but it's not Stephanie. It's something weird. So, so they're in this haunted maze, evidently. And they're walking through these rooms, and that's what the blue, weird painted rooms are. The doors are. It's a haunted mansion, haunted maze. And there's like, either they're walkers or they're people dressed up as walkers inside these caves. They can't get to the people inside. Oh, I guess they can. They reach through. But either way, they get to the door at the end. The guy walks through. He's like a walker, and he's going. And Daryl says, all right, that's enough. He's like, oh, sorry, man. And he like rubs RJ's head and then gives Daryl a pound, and boom, and they leave. And it's a haunted maze, and it's Halloween, and it's all good fun for everybody. I think Judith is dressed up as a witch, and I think RJ is the devil. A devil. He's got like a red horns and stuff on there too, and he's got red on, so I don't know, it's risky, right? So they're walking around. You see Ezekiel in the petting zoo. He's got like bunnies and chickens and whatever. A bunch of kids are everywhere. They're dressed up as different people. And there's a contest for the kids to dress up. And it's a costume contest. The girl that wins is dressed up as Mercer. And she's got like the orange armor on, and she's Mercer. John Tracy says, when do you think Negan will appear again? Not for a couple episodes. I think it'll probably be, I don't know, if this is 11:10, maybe 11, 12, or 13 at the earliest. It's going to be some time before Negan shows up again, I believe. But it'll be this part. I think Negan is showing up again this part. So Carol comes out of the bake shop. She's making cookies, Carol's cookies. She comes outside. There's a little stand. She gives Judith a cookie. And she's looking around. She walks over to Daryl, who's with RJ. And Carol talks with Daryl. What do you make of this place? It's hard to take in because it's like weird. It's like fake. It shouldn't exist in a zombie apocalypse, right? It's weird. As Judith's walking by herself, this, I guess, girl that's taller than Judith. She's like a couple of years older, I'm guessing. And she talks to Judith and said, hey, you're one of the people that lived out in the wasteland with the rotters. So they call them rotters instead of walkers. And she says, yeah, I guess you're not afraid of anything, right? Yeah, I guess. And May, her name is May. And she's really nice to Judith. And Judith calls herself Jude. So it's May and Jude. And they're talking, and, Judith has a friend now. It's nice to see. Judith waves to Daryl, and Daryl gives her a wave, and they're talking. So Judith and May are there, hanging out. Pamela Milton comes out with the real Stephanie, or Max. It's just, I don't know, it's just weird what they're calling her. And she comes out, and she's giving out candy, and she's giving out cotton candy. Judith eats some of the cotton candy, and she's never had it before, and it's kind of a cute little scene. And as you look around, Ezekiel has a pet rabbit on his chest, and he's petting the rabbit with the kids and stuff, and it's just a nice, fun atmosphere thing. Pamela Milton comes on stage and says, we have our winner of our costume contest. It's this girl Celeste who's dressed up as Mercer. So everybody loves Mercer. They're dressing up as Mercer. They're doing this. I think one of them's dressed up as Pamela Milton. One's dressed up as like a bee. They're dressed up as different animals and stuff. And Celeste wins lottery tickets. And you're like, what do you do with these lottery tickets? Then you see someone later on at the ball, the Masquerade ball, the winner of the person who won the lottery. She's at the Masquerade ball. So I guess it gives you status. If you win the lottery, you get amenities, you get to live in a better place and stuff. So you kind of get to see the status of things. So you see Daryl is living with Judith and RJ in the barracks. It's not like barracks, but it's like a crappy apartment. And then because Daryl comes out of one door and Rosita comes out the other, they talk. Yeah, I think these places are made of paper. It sucks to live here. Yeah, because you have to earn your keep. And if they're training to become Commonwealth troopers, you have to live in the barracks, evidently. And then we see later on that there's music playing. It's really loud. It's not really good for Judith, RJ, Dog, and Daryl to be living there in the Commonwealth. It's just not a good spot. Meanwhile, Carol has her own nice little apartment. She's got nice amenities. So they're going to do training, and it's teams of two. You have Daryl and some guy, and Rosita and some guy, and there's teams of two. Mercer says the goal is fast, but teamwork. And there's a walker at the end with a red X on them. You have to kill that walker, and that's how it ends. But Mercer wants to see them work together and fast. And Daryl wants to work with Rosita, but Mercer's like, nah, you're working with him. Espinosa's working with him. And Daryl, so the goal is to work together. They have one little knife. They have to kill the walkers and work together. So it's cool to see the option of it and the idea of it. And they have the kill box or kill room or whatever. And they have to train and work together. It's basically Daryl is used to working by himself and getting stuff done. Rosita is part of a team, and she does better and does this. Everybody survives, but Daryl kills the walker with the X on his chest. His partner is struggling with the knife, even though Daryl's like, here, take the knife. I'll just kill these walkers without anything. And so Daryl's partner is struggling with the walker. Mercer shoots the walker, and then it's over. And Daryl's like, what? What are you talking about? I was right there. Why am I in trouble? He's like, all right, come on. Right? So Mercer says, good job, Espinosa. Good job, good job. Everybody did a good job except for Daryl, evidently. So Mercer takes Daryl with him, special assignment. So his special assignment is to help Mercer with Sebastian Milton. So Sebastian Milton is getting special weapons training, military training from Mercer. And he's such a punk, such an arrogant doofus that's just a pain in the butt. He pulls it off very well, too, right? So Mercer is walking with Daryl, and then Rosita comes out of nowhere. And Mercer says, Espinosa, what are you doing here? We don't need you here. I volunteer, blah, blah, blah. So Daryl's carrying these bag of weapons. Puts the bag of weapons on a table, and they're all their weapons, right? So Sebastian opens up the bag. He takes out Judith's katana. Daryl's like, be careful with that. He's like, oh, this toothpick? And he throws it. You're like, nice. Then you see Daryl's crossbow in there. And you see Daryl's mace in there. Then you see like all these weapons that are theirs. And you're like, man, they took all their stuff. And it's kind of crazy. So you're like, man. So the idea is for Sebastian to kill these walkers. He takes out the Warhammer, Magnus Warhammer. And Rosita helps Mercer take 2 walkers out of the holding container. And Sebastian's got to kill them. He kills the first walker easily with the Warhammer, drops it down, takes one of Daryl's knives that are in the bag, stabs the walker in the neck. Struggle. Daryl takes his crossbow and kills the walker. Sebastian's like, why'd you do that? What are you doing? Sebastian hates Daryl. Everybody hates Sebastian, so what's new, right? Behind them, you see 2 or 3 Commonwealth troopers and Pamela Milton, who has like a hunting rifle. She's hunting quail or chickens or something into it because she has something in her hand. As she walks away, she looks to the right and she's like disgusted. And she looks at Sebastian. And she doesn't really like Sebastian being, I guess, bad for the family. Not representing the Miltons as he should. Because they are a rich political family that, the way I take it is that her dad was the president of the United States, or at least highly involved in the White House, because she mentions that, working in the White House. Also, before that, Connie and Kelly at the Halloween Fair Festival thing. Connie is feverishly writing on there too. And don't get me wrong, I love Connie and Kelly, but Connie as a reporter, it works, but it doesn't, because it's like Connie is signing and Kelly is translating, and then the person who's talking goes to Kelly and Kelly translates. So it's kind of like, I understand what they're doing, but it just seems like so much extra work to have to translate this, to do this, to talk, to do that. And it's like, so Kelly's basically reporting and has to translate between the two. And it's just a lot of extra work too. So I don't know. Either way, they're setting up some major things with Connie and Kelly to expose the Commonwealth and what happens here. We find out later on that Connie had a hand in exposing Pamela Milton's uncle who got kicked out of Congress. So it's kind of a thing like that. So basically, the Miltons are a powerful political family that was powerful before the zombie apocalypse. Carol even talks about it with Daryl that I forget what she says. She says something like she kind of liked Pamela Milton beforehand. And Daryl's like, I didn't know anything about her. And Carol's like, yeah, from the tabloids. She used to read tabloid magazines or whatever. So you get to see kind of what they were. Also at the fair, Princess is running a record shop. She's selling records at a record store. And May says, you should buy that record. It's a Motorhead record that actually plays at the end of the episode, one of the songs. And Judith says, I don't have any money. And May's like, you don't have an allowance? And you're like, no. But either way, May buys a couple records. I don't really see if she gives her money or cash or whatever, but she signs for something and gets a receipt back. And May really is a nice person, gives the record to Judith. And Judith's like, oh, thank you. And May says, that's what friends are for, like, you're my friend. I just wanted to give it to you. And he said, you don't have to pay me back. And Judith's like, can I have the receipt so I can remember this day? It was a nice memento. It was a nice thing. So at the end, the record, Daryl, because it's day 30 at the Halloween party, Halloween festival thing. And then you see day 33, 3 days later, Daryl is in the Stormtrooper gear. Judith's in a dress. So Daryl got some money, bought a record player, and they play the record at the end. And we'll talk about that at the end of the episode. So Lance Hornsby is in charge. He's trying to make the party, the Masquerade Ball, nice for Pamela Milton. And Pamela has some of the wine that they were going to have for it. She's like, or I think it's Stephanie says something, the real Stephanie, that you got to get better wine. This sucks or whatever. So Lance takes the wine, throws it in the trash, walks down the steps, and then Carol sees all that and knows all that. As she's like walking around, she finds she looks in the trash and sees the wine bottle, and then it's like So later on, she goes inside of a room and finds this receipt for wine, like a building of wines and a location. Somehow she leaves the Commonwealth. It's kind of not really explained. She gets outside the Commonwealth, I guess. But either she goes to the wine factory distribution place business. And she gets a bunch of wine bottles, and there's 3 walkers in there, and they surprise her. She kills the walkers, and a bunch of wine bottles break. But then she gets, a bunch of wine and brings it back and gives it to Lance. And Lance is like, oh, that's interesting. What do you want for this? But before that, Carol sees that Ezekiel is coughing at the party and he's not doing well. Ezekiel and Carol talk, and there's a nice moment where Ezekiel gives Ezra, one of Jerry's sons, the collar that belonged to Shiva. And the son, Ezra, doesn't want to give it back, but then Jerry's like, come on, you got to give it back. It's Ezekiel's. And Ezekiel sees, he's like, oh, Ezra really cares about this collar. It's a metal chain. But I think Ezekiel feels like I could be dying soon, so I want to give my stuff away. So he makes a thing for Ezra and says, hey, you can have this as long as you remember Shiva, and as much joy as it gave me, it gives to you, and you remember her, and you care for it, and you really enjoy it. Ezra doesn't say anything. He gives him a hug, and it's a nice thing. And Ezekiel says, yeah, be careful with that. It is a chain. Be careful when Jerry laughs, and it's a nice thing. But Carol worries about Ezekiel, and he talks about it. So then she sneaks into the medical records area and gets the chart out of there. And that's what she's doing in the filing cabinet in the trailer. And she finds Ezekiel's chart, looks at it. And as she's in there, Tommy comes in. And Carol's like trying to hide, but then she sees it's Tommy and they have a conversation. Tommy's back doing surgery again, which we kind of thought would be happening. He's working in the hospital again. Because I guess Carol took his place at the bake shop. Now he's back being a surgeon. Carol asks about a couple things about Ezekiel. Tommy breaks the HIPAA laws, says about his condition a little bit. So I see that we find out Ezekiel is, I think, 147th in line for surgery. Tommy looks at the chart and says, yeah, he ain't going to make that list. So they have to do something about it too. So I know that Carol wants to help Ezekiel, right? Carol still cares for Ezekiel, and losing Henry really put a test in their relationship, and they just ended things. And either way, but I still think she cares about Ezekiel. So either way, Carol comes up with an idea. I'm going to help Lance, and Lance can help me get Ezekiel up to the line. Ezekiel doesn't know what number he is in the line, so eventually he's going to probably be moved up. He's going to have surgery, and Ezekiel should survive. But that's just not what it is. They laid that groundwork here. So Carol goes around, gets the bottles of wine, like I said, takes it to Lance, who's in the office, kind of freaking out, wondering what to do about the wine and stuff there too. Then we see that they're going to use the wine for the Masquerade ball. Then you cut to Magna pouring the wine that Carol got. It's kind of wishful thinking and far-fetched that Carol, of all people, went to a winery or business, got the bottles of wine, and brought it back by herself. What was Lance and the Commonwealth doing for all these years? How long they had been there? How did they not pick up all this wine to begin with? Either way, they use the wine. Magna pours it in the wine glasses. She takes it out. She talks to another server about mango fruit and food and stuff. And Magna's like, yeah, why won't your kids use them? You get a chance to eat mango. And the woman laughs and says, my kids ain't going to ever have the opportunity to. So you see the class, society, status, levels, high class, low class, high society, low society, whatever you want to call it, you can see the different things too. So Magna takes out some wine. She goes right to Yumiko and said, would you like some wine? I hear it's really good. Yumiko looks at her, takes a glass of wine. Tommy takes a glass of wine. Tommy downs it And Yumiko's like, well, take it easy over here. And you see kind of Tommy shaking a little bit. So I think he's nervous about being around all those people again and being a surgeon and being other. He leaves his comfort zone. He just feels like he can't do it anymore too. So you see Tommy grabs another glass. He's like, well, I'm here among this. I need to drink and blah, blah, blah. So then you see the masquerade ball, right? Or sorry, before that, Lance walks in off the red carpet. People are like cheering. He's like, yeah, 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 yeah. And Lance is like, but it's for Mercer, who comes behind him. Everybody loves Mercer. I love Mercer. We all love Mercer, right? So Mercer's walking up the steps. Princess is there. She says a couple lines to Mercer. Mercer turns and smiles. He's like, oh, yeah, well, would you like to come with me? I hate these things. I'm out of place in these things. He doesn't enjoy being there. So Princess is not really dressed for the ball. She was just there to watch. The guy is a snooty way, says, name. He says, she's with me. Doesn't matter. We have a dress code. Mercer just looks at him, and the guy lets him in, of course. Also, before that, Sebastian Milton walks in. Daryl's on one part of the doorway, and Rosita's on the other. And Sebastian, fixes his collar or something. And Sebastian just is a punk and just walks in. So Princess is Mercer's date into the Commonwealth Masquerade Ball. Connie and Kelly are walking around reporting, taking notes and what they want to about the Masquerade Ball. Sebastian Milton's in there with his girlfriend at the table. Pamela Milton's walking around with her assistant, Stephanie. At least we're guessing her name's Stephanie. Still haven't got her name yet, unless they call her Max. It's kind of weird. And Lance comes over to Pamela Milton. He says a pickle or something, a problem. And Pamela Milton's like, I'm sure you do. And she just keeps walking. And it's like she has attitude. She doesn't care about Lance. Lance always has a problem or something. She just doesn't pay him any mind. It's pretty disrespectful, right? So we also see the Commonwealth soldier from season 10C in there. He's a waiter now. So evidently, and Yumiko and Princess, they recognize the guy. And Princess is like, yeah, that's the guy I beat up in the train car. So they recovered something from season 10C, which was cool, right? It wasn't like a waste of time watching those episodes. So the guy is now a waiter, and he comes over to Pamela Milton and Stephanie and says, Mrs. Milton, can I have a moment of time? And Stephanie's like, she's a strict, schedule or something. So then he's shushed away. He gives out some hors d'oeuvres or something, and he looks dejected and, So evidently he got demoted. He lost everything after Princess beat him up, I guess. He lost his job. He lost his room. He lost his money. He lost his pay. He lost all his perks that he had as being a Commonwealth trooper. So you kind of see a little what's unfolding here. You also see Connie, Kelly, they talk with Pamela Milton. Pamela Milton says, good to see you again, Connie. Good to see you, Kelly. Good to see you this, blah, blah, blah. My father always loved a good masquerade ball in the White House. So I'm going with he was the president. They don't really say he was the president of the United States, but he had some high, powerful position in the government and the White House. They unfold a painting that was of Pamela Milton's father. And it's a nice thing. Everyone's clapping. And it's a big deal. Pamela Milton puts her, her 2 cents in, we're going to build it brick by brick. Do this, do that. Is good stuff, pumping up the crowd kind of thing. The people in power at the Masquerade Ball. Again, not everybody's going to this Masquerade Ball. It's just the rich, the powerful, the people of status are there. So, I'm trying to think of other stuff too. Pamela Milton also says to Lance Hornsby, we need to set up a meeting and talk about this Alexandria thing. I have questions. So still haven't really got there for Alexandria. I don't know if it's next episode or the following episode that Pamela Milton goes to Alexandria. Because we know that from the trailer. That's what happens. So Pamela Milton's giving her speech. The guy, what's his name Alston, I forget his name. What is it? Tyler? I think it's Tyler or something they call him. Doesn't really matter. But either way, the former Commonwealth trooper, he laughs. And he's like, haha, yeah, right. We need workers' comp and disability and this and that and the equality. And he's just being everything that made sense that you would want. But he's blatantly putting it out there. And everyone's like looking at him, and he walks over to it, and you can see like the guards and stuff are coming around. So he grabs the knife, a steak knife, and puts it to Stephanie's neck, or Max's neck, Maxine's, whatever her name is. Stephanie, we'll call her. Margot Bingham. And he's like, I don't want to do this, but, blah, 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 and this and that, and can't trust the Commonwealth, and resist the Commonwealth, and everything there too. And he ends up slashing the painting of Pamela Milton's father. And he's like backing away. Mercer takes out his gun, and then he runs through the curtains and runs away. Daryl runs out of the ball and sees that the guy goes into the haunted maze. Daryl runs after him, talks to him a little bit. The guy, Tyler, says he has a sister. He's about to cut his own throat. Daryl's like, no, don't do that. Wait, no. And they talk a little bit, but then you see like Tyler's really not that bad of a guy. I'm trying to remember his name's Tyler or not, but the guy, it's okay. But he's kind of doing stuff for the right reason. Like, he just wants it to be equal there at the Commonwealth. The status society, people are put down and stuff. It's kind of a telling thing for the future of the episodes and the story. So Daryl says, put your hands behind your back, and he handcuffs him. Sebastian Milton comes in. He's like, oh, you got him. You finally did something right. You finally did something good. And before that, Mercer, when Daryl was helping him with Sebastian Milton's training, and Sebastian went away after he was, they killed the walker, and he ran away and ran to his mommy. Mercer said, I see you do things by yourself, Daryl, but, here it's a great place, some of the best I've ever seen. So it seems like Mercer was someplace else. I'm still waiting for some major connections with CRM. I would love for Lance or Mercer or somebody to be connected with CRM, but it would be really cool. So the fact is that Mercer was telling to Daryl, you got to play the game. You can do really well here if you stop getting in your way. So Daryl takes that to heart, evidently, and gives the trooper guy that Daryl caught to Sebastian, so Sebastian could be the hero and bring him in. So Daryl's playing the game to do that. You got to play the game to let the higher ups have their power and have their stuff, and So Sebastian takes the guy back in. Everyone cheers. Pamela Milton looks on. You see Rosita, Daryl. They talk about things too. Pamela Milton looks at the guy and says, getting rid of me ain't going to change. There's 1,000 more just like me. Resist the Commonwealth. And they take him away. And Pamela Milton's like, is there really 1,000 more? And Lance is like, no. She says, we'll make sure. So that's when Daryl has the next scene is like 33 days in the Commonwealth. So it's been 3 days later. Daryl's got the Commonwealth armor on. They're looking in a mirror. Judith comes over. She's in her dress. They compliment each other. Daryl gets the record player. Daryl, has some money now. Judith plays the Motorhead record. They start playing the song. The song starts playing in the episode. Then you see the troopers start going up the steps where the barracks are. They go into the room. They hit the door with the pusher thing that the SWAT and stuff uses. They get into the room. Rosita, like I thought from the trailer, is one of the stormtroopers or the Commonwealth troopers. They go into the room. She finds a push-through door in a closet. She pushes through it, goes through it. It's all this resist the Commonwealth, workers, equality, all this stuff like all over the place. Also, a small little thing that you may have missed when they're going into the Masquerade ball, it says way out, and then there's an arrow, and it says something there too. So it's like the exit, but it says way out. And it's interesting because 609 is no way out, and 119 is no other way. And the title of this is called New Haunts. It's not, other way, but it's just kind of interesting that it's there, and it says that right on there. So Rosita goes into the room. She takes off her mask. She looks around. You see it's Rosita. And it's basically, I guess, the guy's apartment, or it's probably his apartment. It wouldn't make sense if it wasn't. Maybe another room that there's another group of outcasts or people that are just like the trooper that is basically calling them out. So I'm hoping that some of the outcasts that we know that we're going to see later on, like the person with the woman with like the short haircut with the rings and stuff on, I'm hoping that's a group of outcasts, and it's going to be a big power struggle for Walking Dead Part 2, Part 3 for this season. So then the Motorhead song's playing. Rosita looks through the posters that have like the Commonwealth mask and stuff with red paint on there. There's a lot of red all over the place, and that's how the episode ends. So it's not like this great ending like people were saying before, like, oh, it's really going to mess things up and flip things up. Well, not really. We kind of thought that they had the idea that the Commonwealth is going to have problems. There's going to be, people revolting against the group, a revolution. Lower level status people are going to go against upper class status people. If there's 50,000 people there, who has the status? Who has the power? Is it the troopers and the people of power? If there's more people in the lower, so if there's like different levels of status, if the lower level of status people is like 40,000, that way outnumbers everybody else. I'm just using numbers. I don't know if it is or not. That it just is like, wow, that is like, pretty interesting. So there's probably a lot of little subtle things, like Jerry is wearing an orange shirt that has like a tiger, nice callback to Shiva. It's just a good story episode, building block episode. The action, it's there. They kill some walkers in the kill room and they did figure out some stuff, but it's more of a setup episode. I don't know how many more episodes we're going to get with the action stuff. Well, if you start looking at the trailer stuff, we got to see Daryl, Aaron, and Father Gabriel getting shot out by the bus stuff. So I don't know if it's Commonwealth soldiers or a rogue group or, the resistance kind of thing. We'll have to see how it goes there. And also, Rosita says it's something subtle. And I don't know if Rosita and Father Gabriel broke up or if Father Gabriel's probably living somewhere else at the Commonwealth. It's kind of like, what do they mean here? Because Rosita is holding baby Coco outside at the Halloween fair, and she hands baby Coco to Father Gabriel, and he says, they talk about like, oh, she can stay at my place tonight. You keep working late, or you keep having the late shift, and so I guess Rosita's living in the barracks to be a Commonwealth trooper, and Father Gabriel's is living somewhere else in a more creature comfort area. So it's kind of like, did they break up? They're not living together. It's just different coincidences. I'm guessing they still are together because they kiss and whatever. And so, or I guess she kisses baby Coco, and then that's the only time you see Father Gabriel in the episode. So it's kind of a little thing like, what's up with that? Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's something there too. And then also, the last thing I forgot here is Ezekiel knocks on Carol's door. Ezekiel goes and talks with Carol at Carol's place. That's how you see that she has a bottle of wine or a couple bottles of wine for herself. She has a nice place. She's got it's probably a 1-bedroom studio apartment, but it's nice. So Ezekiel talks with Carol and they catch up. They're really nice. And Ezekiel's like, yeah, this is your fresh start if you want it. Carol pours some wine in the glass, and Ezekiel takes out a box from a bag, and it says Henry on top of it. So it's the last of Henry's things, I believe. Carol says she doesn't want it because Ezekiel says, he would have loved this place, talking about Henry. And it's a nice little moment, and they talk, and then they kind of snuggle up on the sofa. And again, there's still love for each other. They care for each other, and who knows? Maybe they got together that night. Probably. They're drinking and, whatever, right? So that was just a nice little moment. But it ends with the Rosita stuff going into the secret room in the closet with the posters and stuff there too. And then the next trailer for next week's is Rosita and a Commonwealth soldier knocking on a door. They go in there, they talk to Eugene, so you finally get to see more Eugene. Eugene's not really in this episode. We get to see the poster of Stephanie, Stephanie, what happened with her, we don't know. Lance is on the horse and buggy with Carol, and they're talking about kind of things. So Carol still has more story with Lance. Can't wait to see what happens there. I'm blanking on what else happens there too. I mean, it's not much in the trailer, but I think Connie and Kelly talk about some stuff, you know, because again, they're going to probably end up exposing the Commonwealth in the journalism, the Commonwealth press and whatever. And I'm just trying to think of what else I remember in the Commonwealth trailer. But we'll have another breakdown of it next week. And overall, it's another good episode. So 11:09, 11:10 are good. Like I said before, Talking Dead is back on tonight. Angela Kang, Lynn Collins, who plays Leah, and Lauren Cohen, who plays Maggie, are on tonight. They're the guests on AMC. And Chris Hardwick is obviously the guest, our host. So, yeah. Pretty good stuff. And then other thing is like when they're leaving the Masquerade ball, Connie and Kelly are trying to figure out what's going on. And then you see that the people at the Masquerade ball are getting like envelopes of stuff. So was it money? Was it like they were being paid to be there? The people of power are keeping the people in power happy. Like it's just, what's going on here? We just don't really know all this stuff. But again, it's the first episode of the Commonwealth, more deep dive to find out what's happening there. So more stuff to it. I just hope it gets rewarding and pretty cool and pretty stuff going there. No Negan, no Maggie, no Alexandria, no Hilltop. It's just all Commonwealth. And it's kind of setting things up for where we're going with the rest of these episodes. So we already got 2 episodes down, 6 more to go, because it's 3 parts of 8, which is going to go quick. They always do. And so we got 2 episodes down, 6 to go, 6 weeks more. And then then we in March, we'll find out more about this Andrew Lincoln, Norman Reedus stuff, that Andrew Lincoln is in Georgia. Is it there for The Walking Dead show, movies there? Tales of the Walking Dead, we're posting. When we find out information, we post stuff about more castings. We have a thing on Instagram and Facebook about who was cast. There were 6 more people cast for Tales of the Walking Dead. I believe they are still filming that. Episode 103, they're on right now. Recently, that you could follow some of the people that make the episodes, and they are around that time. So it's getting there, guys. It'll be here before you know it. The Walking Dead, we still don't know if it's going to be August or October. It makes sense for it to be August, and then Fear the Walking Dead to be in October. But again, we just don't know. We'll see where this goes and it takes us. I'm still waiting for the CRM connections. Still waiting for... I just think it's an obvious thing to connect that way. It just makes sense. Like if Pamela Milton or the Miltons were a political powerhouse, a political family, right? Would they know Major General Beale? Probably. Like what if, like it would be really cool if Major General Beale is first seen on The Walking Dead. That connects with the Rick movies, that connects with the world beyond, that connects and connects with the connects of the connects, with the more connects of the connects. Connect? So it's one of those things that it's a lot of stuff can go the way. I don't know if they're going to do that. It's not my job because I don't work for them. But I would love to see more connections, more stuff to make sense. And then we'll have to see. Keep us posted with the Andrew Lincoln news. Is he in Georgia? Is he actually really here? Is he there for filming? Which part? The episode, the show, the episode, and the movies. Can't wait to see it. But let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Thank you guys for being here. I truly appreciate it. I'll be back next Sunday. Talk about, that's what we should do, right? We'll do the 15 minutes of like general Walking Dead conversation. Then 45 minutes, we'll talk about 11:10 again, and then 11:11 for it. So good stuff, guys. Thank you guys for being here. I truly appreciate all the love and support. If you can, tell your friends, tell your family to subscribe to the channel. We still have that goal of 100,000 subscribers. I think we're at like 96,300 or something. So we'll be back next Sunday. I'll be posting videos all week. Thank you guys for taking the time. I truly appreciate it. And remember, like, share, subscribe. We'll keep working hard. It's all about hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice. Believe in your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do big things, achieving things. It really makes sense to continue working hard because it will pay off for you. I'll be posting different videos all week. Stay safe, and I'll